Welcome, everyone, to today's Explainer. You know, when we think about modern football, we usually picture the passion, the packed stadiums, and the ultimate pursuit of glory. But when you pull back the curtain and look at the numbers behind the scenes, it reveals something completely wild. Football is actually a massive, multi-billion-dollar global corporate machine. Let's dive in and break it down together.
So, what if I told you that some of the absolute biggest clubs in the world regularly rake in hundreds of millions of dollars a year without lifting a single trophy? It sounds crazy, right? But while we're all hyper-focused on the final score, the survival of these teams actually depends on a highly complex, deeply diversified business model that is running in the background 24/7.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. More than just a game. 2. Tickets and broadcast TV billions. 3. Sponsors, merch, and brands. 4. The lucrative player transfer market. 5. The massive cost of winning. And finally, 6. The billionaire's ultimate financial endgame.
Section 1. More than just a game. To really understand the economics of the sport, we first have to realize that these iconic institutions are no longer simply local sports teams. Listen to this number. In 2023, Manchester United generated over $700 million in revenue. And the craziest part about that? They did it without even winning the league. This perfectly proves that top clubs have evolved way, way beyond the pitch. They operate as absolute global entertainment companies, leveraging these historic brands into massive, worldwide economic ecosystems.
Football isn't just a sport anymore, it's a global money machine. This quote basically captures the entire essence of our explainer today, because while the fans are in the stands praying for a win, the owners and the corporate boards are managing these highly diversified, billion-dollar income streams that just keep flowing, regardless of what the final score is.
Section 2. Tickets and broadcast TV billions. Let's look at the most visible and traditional ways these clubs generate their cash. Before television totally took over the world, matchday revenue was literally everything. And honestly, it is still absolutely massive. Take Barcelona's Camp Nou, for example. With a capacity of over 99,000 fans, they brought in roughly £162 million for matchdays in 2023 alone. If you do the math, that is an average of £6.5 million every single home game, just from tickets, VIP hospitality, and concessions. Now compare that to Arsenal or Chelsea. They hit a hard financial ceiling, simply because their stadiums are smaller. This physical limit on capacity is exactly why clubs are so desperate to expand or build entirely new arenas. More seats literally equal a much higher financial ceiling.
But as big as stadium revenue is, we really need to pivot to the absolute real goldmine of modern football: broadcasting rights. The massive domestic and international deals struck with networks like Sky Sports and TNT Sports are what truly supercharge the entire economy of the sport.
$10 billion. That was the staggering value of the Premier League's broadcasting deals spanning 2022 to 2025. Because these leagues have successfully captured a global audience, broadcasters are willing to pay completely unprecedented sums to show these matches. Thanks to this, top Premier League clubs can earn over $150 million per season simply from being broadcasted. This guaranteed TV income is exactly what kept so many clubs afloat when stadiums were completely empty during the pandemic.
Moving right along to Section 3. Sponsors, merch, and brands. Let's look at how football's immense global audience transforms teams into unbelievable marketing platforms.
It is genuinely fascinating to see the astronomical value placed on seemingly tiny pieces of real estate, like a player's body. Brands pay a huge premium for global visibility. Barcelona's deal with Spotify for their shirts and stadium naming rights is reportedly worth €400 million. Manchester United has an estimated £900 million kit deal with Adidas. And get this, even the sleeves are worth a fortune. Paris Saint-Germain's sleeve sponsorship with GOAT is worth €50 million. A simple corporate logo worn by a superstar is literally one of the most effective marketing tools on the planet.
And of course, on-pitch success does directly influence the bank account through prize money. It acts as a massive financial multiplier. The UEFA Champions League winner can secure around €125 million, while winning the Premier League brings in roughly £168 million. This is exactly why that race for the top four is an absolute dogfight every single year. Qualifying for the Champions League unlocks massive prize money multipliers, which can completely change a club's economic trajectory, allowing them to attract better sponsors and afford higher quality players.
Section 4.
the lucrative player transfer market. Let's transition into one of the most dynamic, high-stakes secondary income streams in the game.
Here's where players are bought and sold like incredibly valuable commodities. One of the smartest ways clubs navigate this market is through the academy model. It works like this. Step 1, you invest heavily in youth facilities. Step 2, you develop those kids into skilled first-team players. And Step 3, you sell them. Because academy graduates cost nothing in transfer fees to acquire, selling them results in 100% pure profit on the accounting books. Chelsea, for instance, banked over £300 million in absolute pure profit over 10 years just by relying on this exact strategy.
But what about buying and selling established pros? Well, check this out. Benfica bought Enzo Fernandez for around $12 million. Just months later, after he had a stellar World Cup performance, they turned around and sold him to Chelsea for over $120 million. That is a cool $100 million plus profit for Benfica on a single player in less than a year. It is the ultimate buy low, sell high ecosystem.
And sometimes these transfer contracts get incredibly complicated with extra performance clauses which can lead to some truly wild situations. Take Philippe Coutinho. Barcelona bought him from Liverpool and included a clause saying they'd pay Liverpool extra money if Coutinho ever won the Champions League. Well, Coutinho did win the Champions League, but he did it while out on loan to Bayern Munich. And on his way to winning the whole thing, Coutinho actually helped Bayern Munich brutally defeat Barcelona 8-2. So Barcelona suffers this completely humiliating defeat, and because of that clause, they still had to cut Liverpool a check for an extra €5 million. You honestly can't make this stuff up.
Section 5. The massive cost of winning. Okay, here is the big plot twist. With all these broadcast billions, massive sponsorships, and huge transfer profits, clubs must just be sitting on mountains of cash, right? Actually, scratch that. They burn through cash at a terrifying rate. Operating a top-tier football club is staggeringly expensive. Players' salaries alone can drain hundreds of millions a year. Cristiano Ronaldo was pulling in around $200 million in 2023. Star transfers like Mbappe or Bellingham easily command $100 million plus fees. And when those big money signings fail, it's catastrophic. Barcelona blew €370 million on Coutinho, Griezmann, and Dembélé, and all of them flopped. This triggered a financial crisis so deep that Barca had to sell off 49% of their own media production arm just to survive. Add in the millions spent on sacking managers mid-season and poof, the profit margins completely vanish. When fans wonder why their season ticket prices just keep going up, this terrifying cash burn is exactly why.
Because the urge to just spend endlessly and chase trophies is so overwhelming, governing bodies actually had to step in. They introduced Financial Fair Play, or FFP. These regulations are designed to force financial discipline, meaning clubs can no longer just rely on a wealthy billionaire owner to cover massive operational losses year after year. They have to prove that their business models are actually sustainable.
Finally, Section 6, the billionaire's ultimate financial endgame, which sets up our overarching question.
If clubs are burning through cash, making really expensive mistakes, and are restricted by strict financial rules, why on earth do billionaires, huge conglomerates, and investment groups keep buying them? Well, it's all about the long game. In 2003, a billionaire bought Chelsea for roughly $300 million. Fast forward to 2022, and the club was sold to an investment group for $5.2 billion. Owners are perfectly happy absorbing yearly operational losses because the franchise's overall asset appreciation over a few decades is just completely staggering.
When corporate entities and billionaires look at top football clubs today, they don't see a risky sports team. They see the ultimate trophy asset. Owning a top club offers unmatched global brand exposure in front of literally billions of people. It provides a drastic boost to the owner's corporate influence. And as we just saw, the long-term asset appreciation is phenomenal. They are actively transforming what used to be local community sports teams into vast global lifestyle and media empires.
So, we've followed the money from a local fan's £60 ticket all the way up to a $5 billion payday for an investment group. The beautiful game is undeniably a corporate juggernaut now. I'll leave you with this provocative thought to chew on. Is football losing its soul to money, or is this corporatization simply a masterpiece of modern business? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.